I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Board of any executive sessions, and we're out. We have a presentation on Rebecca Ford and his on she here. Yep, there's a second. Okay. Good morning. You're up first.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Becky Ford. I'm with Amazon Web Services Economic Development, and with me today is Jeff Wilhelm, our
You gotta speak into the microphone. The camera.
Becky Ford, Amazon Web Services. I lead economic
Is
development.
that even on?
You can't hear.
Yeah, it should be on.
Yes.
I know if you're on.
I got it. Sorry, excuse me.
With that on.
Only one quick. Okay. There you go.
Okay, now it's on.
All right, good morning. Can everybody hear me okay?
Welcome.
Thank you. My name is Becky Ford. I lead economic development for Amazon Web Services. With me today is Jeff Wilhelm, our outside legal counsel.
Okay, well, we just wanted, there's a lot of talk about these data centers going with the Pine Township property is probably the one that I would say that's the furthest along in Schuylkill County. Would that be a fair assessment?
I can't speak to any of the other data center developments.
But yours.
As you know, in 2025, we purchased a site along Lofty Road. I think it's approximately 380 acres. And we've had a series of meetings. The most recent public meeting was in January, I believe, of this year, where we provided an overview of the project and approximate timeline.
That microphone go out again. Can you hear? Okay, to me it doesn't. Go ahead, sorry. I can't hear it right here for some reason. Well, nobody can hear me.
How's this? Better?
Is that better?
No, it looks like it went off again.
Yeah, I think it's.
Give up that.
The battery is showing. Check. Check, check.
There you go.
Okay.
There you
We were, most recently, we had a public meeting in January to talk through the pre-construction phase, which is where we are now. We presented a preliminary overview of the project. And next steps for us will be the end of this month. I think it's June 30th and July 1st, where we'll hold a second round of informational meetings.
So with those information meetings, is that for one township? Who's invited to this information?
Sorry, those were not informational meetings on June 30th and July 1st at McAdoo Elementary School. I believe it's scheduled from. Still out? Let me try to use my courtroom voice. How's that?
No, let's pick it up. Okay, go ahead.
So from on June 30th at McAdoo Elementary School and July 1st at McAdoo Elementary School. From July 1st, from 5 p.m. to 8 p.m., we will be presenting to the Klein Township Planning Commission a major modification, land development plan approval for the campus. In January, we presented what is called a sketch plan under the municipal planning code. That was a public meeting that was held at McAdoo Elementary School, elementary school building from, I believe it was 8 a.m. in the morning till noon. And that was publicly advertised and was conducted by the Board of Supervisors.
That's what we is Amazon Web Services, is your user of the entire campus Amazon or is it other people, other entities? Or-
No, it's solely, we purchased the property. We will be responsible for construction and we are the end user operator. There are no other entities that will be associated with the campus.
Can you speak to energy consumption, water consumptions, anything like that?
Yes, happy to speak to those things. A little challenging without specific questions. Jeff, maybe you can speak briefly about water. What is publicly available?
So we have already gotten into a will serve on the campus, a LOI towards a tapping fee agreement. The campus is going to use 15,000 gallons per day for domestic, and then 100,000 gallons per day is the reservation of rights for non-contact cooling water. And
And it's a closed loop system.
Yeah, so 96% of the year we use outside, 96% of the year we use outside air for cooling, ambient air. About 4% of the year when the outside air is not cool enough to cool the data center equipment, we use water. And that water is non-contact water. So it goes through a series of pipes. It doesn't come into contact with any equipment or any cooling chemicals other than a small amount of chlorine that's used to make sure that the water does not damage the pipes themselves.
Okay, so you're reserving the right for 100,000 gallons a day, but it won't always use 100,000 gallons.
Exactly.
Okay, so that's what that, because there's a lot of misinformation that we're going to use hundreds of thousands of gallons every single day. But from what I understand, it's only on the hottest days that it would have the ability or potential to use 100,000 gallons, only on the hottest days. All
Only
the
on-
other days, it's not.
Exactly. That's
Okay.
correct.
And with power consumption, you have to pay, do you have to pay into the grid like everybody else? Do you have to pay for upgrades to the services up there? Just explain that briefly.
Yes, this is 100% in front of the meter. So we pay for all of the equipment necessary to serve our facility. So when there's a line that connects from transmission to our facility, sometimes there's substation equipment and other equipment that's necessary to transfer that power, step it down and feed it to the facility. We pay for 100% of that. No cost is passed along to the ratepayers.
What, Amazon has built these before. Do they have a tendency to, and one of the questions that they say about it is that they have a tendency to drive up rates in surrounding areas. Is there any validity to that?
There's no evidence. In fact, I'll say two things. We've got a ratepayer study that I'm happy to share with folks so that you've got the data and evidence behind us not driving up rates and paying our own costs. And in addition to that, on the 30th of June and the 1st of July, we'll have representatives from PP&L to address those questions specific to rates and rate structure.
Is there, so this is all Amazon, so it's the consumers creating the need for this.
Yes, we develop data center infrastructure based on customer demand. So just about everything you do on a daily basis has requirement for cloud services for data. And that is what is driving our need to establish new facilities and new campus infrastructure. So customer demand is what is driving data center development.
Once you build a campus, roughly how many people are in it?
This,
Not, I mean, not the jobs around it, construction jobs, landscaping jobs, permanent jobs. Roughly, what do you think?
we're estimating 400 to 500 for this campus in particular. There are approximately 9 buildings at once it's fully built out and operational.
So 400 to 500
Are these
jobs.
laboring jobs, or was there a skill set involved?
I'm sorry?
Is this laborers, or is there a skill set involved?
There are a number of skill sets involved. Many of the folks that work in data centers on a daily basis have skills like HVAC, mechanical, electrical. There are folks that are responsible for fiber optics. So splicing, connecting, rerouting those fiber optic cables. There are security skills involved, data center engineering and operators.
So these would be family sustaining, mortgage paying occupations.
Absolutely. Average salary is $80,000 to $100,000, which is roughly 2x, I believe, the state's average wage, and well in excess of the county's existing average wage. We're working with Luzerne County Community College right now to get training and programs in place so that folks who are interested in jobs can pursue the skills and training required to work in data centers and jobs that are associated with construction and development.
Are you talking to our vocational schools? Well, I think we'll sort of call it the MOPECs, like the Fractal MOPEC, Southern MOPEC here. Can people get these jobs out of high school if they have a training in the vocational school?
I believe it's 90% of the jobs associated with data center infrastructure can be secured with an associate's degree or certificate. So most jobs do not require a 4-year education. We are working with the community college system and the state Department of Labor, Department of Education to connect those assets in the community that deliver education. So everything from K through 12 to high schools, VOTEC, community colleges, in order to not only get training programs in place, also to make sure that teachers, faculty, and educators have the skills to deliver the training.
Is there a long-term plan for, like, one of the questions everyone says is decommissioning, that the technology is changing so rapidly that you won't need the size campuses, you won't need the stuff. What's the average lifespan, and like, do they retrofit them periodically as the technology changes?
We don't retrofit the buildings once they're
The buildings are
constructed.
built.
The buildings are very similar to a typical high-end warehouse or manufacturing facility. So tilt-up concrete walls. Inside of the buildings, the racks and servers are the specialized equipment that makes it a data center. That equipment is refreshed on a regular basis due to technology, due to customer demand, due to a number of things. And throughout that process, we decommission some of the equipment. We send it to a recycling facility and either recycle the materials for continued use or make that equipment available to schools and nonprofits that have the need for IT equipment.
So, go ahead. Oh, that's what I was gonna ask. The noise, you hear that, there's low vibration noise from these that can travel miles. What's your decibel? What kind of decibel equivalent, like what kind of decibel ratings do you have to have outside your buildings?
Yes. The low voltage aspect is not unique to a data center. Our equipment is just like the equipment used in grocery stores, hospitals, schools, manufacturing facilities. So there are no unique aspects related to data centers. The sound aspects sometimes are associated with the the way that cooling equipment is located on our buildings. So what we do is prior to any construction, during the design process, we do a series of studies and modeling to determine how best to orient the campus based on the unique conditions of the site. So the topography, the surrounding area, and we design the buildings so that they are within or below ordinance requirements for the community in the area.
Just trying to play the devil's advocate.
Sure.
There's a lot of misinformation around about data centers.
There is.
And data centers, like, I think they should be doing more public outreach like this, personally, to educate people on what they actually do, what's going on. We're working with the State Chamber of Commerce. We're trying to set up some dates to have a roundtable discussion with one of their experts just about data centers in general. But the reason I asked to have you invited here is to put a face to one of these data centers, that it's Amazon, that it's Amazon Web Services. And I'm sorry, just about everybody I know shops on Amazon, because everybody gets packages delivered to their house on a daily basis, and it's consumer driven. You know,
It is consumer driven, but data centers are much more than packages.
yeah,
Data
there's
centers.
information.
Yeah, healthcare, banking information, financial information, education, again, aspects of our everyday lives. We are working with the chamber to help support roundtables in communities where developments are proposed, and even in communities that are interested in learning and understanding more. So I'm happy to help support that request for a roundtable informational meeting. Certainly encourage everybody who's interested to attend one of the sessions on the 30th or the 1st. And in addition to that, we're going to be putting together a website where folks can go to find out information about this site in particular and other sites in Pennsylvania.
Okay, and then when we have that roundtable discussion, it'll probably be sometime in July, I think, around we're shooting for. We'll make sure that you're invited to have a presentation, but I just, you know, I'm looking at it, I see the tax benefit and the economic benefit, 400 or 500 jobs, starting at $82,000 to $100,000 a year. That's really good, you're paying jobs. And my thing has always been, and my fellow commissioners is, in the right location, done the right way, they can be a benefit. We don't want them on farmlands, we don't want them right up against people's homes. You know, we wanna take, you know, the site that you bought was former, former coal generation, or was it a former coal lands?
It has coal mines associated with the property underground. And the part that was attractive to us was the fact that it had already been approved and permitted. The site layout that you'll see for our facility very much mirrors what was already approved. That was a warehouse and distribution project. This project is much lower in terms of impact, much lower in terms of traffic demand, tractor trailers, et cetera. And again, higher paying, more higher paying jobs.
And that's basically, once the place would be up and running, that would be your traffic in and out, is the employees.
Correct.
You don't have to have access to 61 or 81 because you're not trucking anything. You're
Correct.
not producing anything that has to be shipped or trucked out. So,
That's correct.
okay,
Some cases we've seen orders, orders for the municipalities for buildings that are over 80 feet tall and for possibly 55 decibels. Could you speak to what the decibel level is? Your plans?
she already answered that. She said she within,
Yeah, but the township has a 55 decibel limit, but the World Health says 40 is correct for people sleeping. The township went higher than what the, do you have a rough idea what the, you know, not what, you know, range? Is it 20 to 50? Is it 100? Is it?
I can't speak to actual, but perhaps, Jeff, maybe you could address what's within the current ordinance that, again, apologies, I'm not.
with client ordinance.
Yeah.
Yeah, within the Klein Township ordinance, it's either 60 dBA or 70 dBA at that site. That site has long been zoned industrial, so it's an industrial site. That site is also located adjacent to I-81. So I-81 forms a boundary on that site. We have not done noise studies at this point in time because we're not into the development yet. I have been affiliated with other projects where you're located up against a highway and the ambient noise is well above 60 dBAs because of traffic. So 65 to 70 dBAs with traffic like a major artery. We have seen that in ambient studies, not on a data center project, but just because of that highway.
What is the height of the buildings?
The height of these buildings will probably be less than 80 feet. Under their ordinance, it's 80 feet. That would be a two-story building.
2-story, okay.
And also, by going vertical here, they had, the Brewster project had over 3 million square feet on their plan, which was all, as I understand it, 1 story. So this is going to be significantly less square footage. But because we're going two stories, the actual footprint is going to be basically 125, 126,000 square feet. So we're greatly reducing the impervious area, the amount of impervious area that we need on the site.
Yeah, and that gives you a bigger setbacks around you too, then.
It gives us a lot of things. It doesn't, it also would be less stormwater and stormwater management.
I appreciate you.
Okay, well,
Appreciate you folks coming today. Just on a personal note, my wife and I, my son-in-law, and my daughter have a small farming operation in Union Township. EPL line goes across one of our farms, and we're putting in a conservation project of terraces. Somebody decided on Sunday to put on the internet, on the Facebook, that the Heathertons are building a data center on their farm because of the PPL line going through their farm. And so we're trying our best to say, no, it's not true. But this is what we're faced with. This misinformation, people go on Facebook and make statements that are totally false and get the public cranked up. So my wife, all Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, she's been telling people, no, we're not. And see, it's a water control project. We're trying to keep the runoff of coming down through the farm and making erosion, putting sediment into Chesapeake Bay. This is actually a conservation, we're not digging a hole for a data center. We appreciate you coming today to help us understand what's going on, get the information out, so.
And depending on how long the meeting goes, if you want to stick around for a little bit afterwards to answer some of the public's questions, if they ask something, we would appreciate it, because, like I said, I'm not trying to be critical, but the data center companies are not doing a good job with their own PR and their own getting the information out to us.
Happy to stay around afterwards. Thank you for allowing us to be here today, and happy to come back at any point in time. The webpage that I mentioned will be launching imminently, within the week. And we'll make sure that you have access to that. Happy for you to post a link to that on the county website, or any additional information that you need. Don't hesitate to reach out.
Yeah, we'll make sure you're included when we get this firm dates for this roundtable discussion. Because I wanted to put a face to it. Like, because you hear it and it's like, I wanted to put who's the user, we know the end user of this project is now, it's public information now, but put a face to it, and that, the public relations and everything, the townships and the county, people. I think they need to do a little bit of a better job, but I appreciate it, thank you.
Point taken. Thank you. And hopefully this is the first of many faces that will be represented in the community associated with the data center. I know I have a colleague that works in our fiber department right now, and he's from the Pottsville area. So we look forward to more residents becoming part of our employee family.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, and then they asked them to stick around if the public wants to talk to them afterwards, so we can do that.
If folks want to stay here, you want to? Okay.
Okay. Yeah, let's do public. We got our microphones down with batteries in it. Yes. Let's move on, public comment.
Morning, Jeff.
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto. Not quite sure if that was a presentation, the way the agenda says, but
It was impromptu, Jeff.
I get that, but this is a major thing affecting the county and residents.
And we are working
Now, let me just,
No,
no,
I-
because I'm gonna start off with, I don't want to be interrupted for the 3 minutes,
Well, no,
okay? Because
see,
you do,
yeah,
that's all you do for
listen,
me.
stop it.
You don't interrupt anybody else but
Stop
me.
it, stop it. Because Jeff, your biggest complaint was nobody would talk to you. All anybody would say was.
Wait till we're done. You do it for everybody else.
Thank you for my.
You do it for everybody else. Just wait till I'm done.
But.
I like the interaction, I like the answers, but wait till I'm done, because all you do is take me off track when I'm saying things. So
Okay.
what I'm saying was, that was a very poor presentation, if that's what you are getting together, to present to the residents and taxpayers, okay? There was a lot of, I believe, I think, maybe, I have no idea on the decibel levels. We're planning on building something there that's gonna impact the area, but we have no idea. Comparing it to a supermarket and a hospital, I mean, that was very poor. And then to not notify anybody, if this was on the agenda, which I didn't, I was on my way home from vacation, but if this was on the agenda and that's the notice to the taxpayers, like, hey, we have a presentation, if you want to come in and ask questions to these people, you have 24 hours notice to call off work and get here. Would have been very nice to
You
have them
said
here.
at the last meeting.
Would have been very nice to have them here at the last meeting where it was a night meeting and the place was packed with 80 people. But again, I mean, that was very poor presentation. So hopefully this roundtable, public can come and ask questions, because it wasn't very well planned, very properly. Moving on, 7 elected officials making around $100,000 a year, not here this morning at 9:35. Again, riding on the taxpayers. This is habitual, it's every week. 5 out of the 7 are the same people every week. Ms. Gaffney still hasn't come here to explain her FMLA claim, where she worked less than 100 hours in 6 months while being paid that $100,000 in salary and benefits. Ms. Stevens is still going through the right to know process for her payroll scheme that you guys allowed, not you, Larry, because you weren't here, with a slap on the wrist by Mr. Bender. The Prothonotari's office with the issue, has there been any progress on being able to get into that or getting it resolved?
Well, I'll wait till you're done.
Okay, because I was told, no, I'll continue then, because I was told that the issue is not able to be fixed now.
and that's just the way it is. There was no other companies looked into. This was just a rash decision to go with this company. There was no other quotes or anything. They decided this company, they went with it. And I'm also being told that there are select searchers and lawyers throughout the county that have been given a code to access this system so that they don't have the issues that some other people do. This is a major issue, like I explained. If you're printing something off and a foreclosure is 130 pages and you only need 5, you have to print the whole thing off because you can't see what you're printing. So that's a major issue, especially if some people are getting a code to bypass it and get in and do it. This needs to be looked into. And then finally, Boots, I'd like to address your defamatory and slanderous comments after the meeting last week. If you would like to put them on record here, since you wanted to cause a scene and scream like a lunatic and bump into me up here, I would like you to put them on record, what you said last week, so we have them on record. They're audio taped, they'll be in the minutes. I'll request them to be put in the minutes. I would like your actual statements of what the accusation, the defamatory statements, I would like them put on record. So if you would like to take the time to speak now, because it is going to progress into a lawsuit, like I informed everybody to keep the recordings because of your actions last week, which were piss poor. So if you'd like to make a comment, are you awake? Because I know you like to fall asleep like you did last week.
So I'm gonna address the issue from the last meeting. Yes, whatever words you had over campaign finance reports, that's between you.
Are we waiting to blink, Boots, or what?
That's between you and Boots. But, Jeff, now see, I want to escort out of the meeting.
Oh, you better do this right, Larry.
No, you just gave him the middle finger.
You better do this right.
Okay, Jeff.
You better do this right.
I have no problem with you. I never kicked you out of the meeting. And at that night meeting, you were screaming defend.
Wait, whoa. How did that start?
Did Boots ever curse you?
A defamatory. First, he banged into me, first of all. And then you said he tripped.
He did.
And then you said I didn't see it.
No, I said he tripped.
Okay. That was convenient that he tripped. Yes.
Listen, he tripped, Jeff.
Yeah.
Who's got an argument?
Right.
You started cursing.
100%.
Calling him names.
100%.
And threatening to fight him.
Legally, first of all, I didn't fight him. Legally, I could do this right now. I could sit here and say everything that I said to him last week on record, and legally you can't kick me
No,
out.
if somebody has a problem with it, yes, we can.
You better read your public policy comment.
You're not
You better read it.
curse.
Because your interpretation of it is
Yeah.
completely different than somebody else's. You can't enforce it.
Yeah.
You cannot stop freedom of speech. If I was to sit here and say, yeah,
Hold on.
hang on, because you're dead wrong on this.
No,
There's case law.
Jeff,
Jeff,
that's when people like not curse and give people a finger and not curse. How many
No,
people
you said don't curse.
don't, they shouldn't get the finger either.
Well,
Okay, come on.
you didn't.
And that night, it was the way you were acting.
See
And
you in
I'm
court.
trying,
See you in court.
that's what I mean though.
See you in court, all of you.
It's harassment.
All of
I'm not gonna be in court.
Oh yeah, you're already getting named in the suit, Larry. You allowed it.
No, I did allow it.
Yes, you did. And now you just lied and said he tripped. And last week you said you weren't sure.
No, I didn't say
It's all
that.
right. Don't worry about it. It's all good.
Jeff,
I'll see you in court.
listen, that's fine. But
Thank
I'm
you.
telling you now,
Thank you.
no more cursing, no more giving fingers. You can make your public comment, but I'm
We'll
so
follow that
decorum.
ACLU. We'll follow that. That's good.
Have some decorum.
Okay, next time, have me arrested. You want to read your county.
I would, why, see, that's what I mean. You.
Because you want to play the trump card where I can say what I want. Okay.
Yes, you can. So I can't ask you to be polite. You should
I've
be
been
threatening.
for a while.
Did you threaten to take Boots outside and finish it?
No.
You didn't threaten him and say, let's finish it.
I have it recorded on my phone. From the court, well, you'll see. It's all recorded.
Okay. Go ahead, Chris.
I don't think it's funny, Larry. Especially after last week with his comments. It's not funny. Here's another lawsuit now the county's gonna be in. Jane Doe's line is still going.
You
I
sue,
have this one.
go ahead, you sue.
I will.
You sue
Oh, it's already being done.
over talking
Slander
about
and defamation.
campaign finance reports.
Slander and defamation. No, that's not the word to use. Why did you ask him what he used last week? You were right there. And you heard him say it. And then you said to me, I heard the same thing at the same fundraiser. So now let's all bring it out, Larry. Let's bring it out on record.
Listen, Jeff, I don't know why everybody cares. I
If
told
you
you that
defame
before.
somebody,
Okay, that's enough.
slander.
Move on with the
Really?
meeting. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, just keep that going.
That's fine, Jeff.
Good.
Good morning, Commissioners. Chris Molesky, Norwegian Township. I kindly ask that you refrain from any comments until after my 3 minutes. I would like to respectfully request that the board review and clarify the Schuylkill County public comment policy and how it applies to other boards, commissions, and authorities. The county adopted a public comment policy in November of 2022. which provides for public comment on both agenda items and non-agenda matters, establishes a 3-minute speaking limit. However, of course, at last week's meetings, questions have recently arisen regarding whether the policy applies only to meetings of the Board of Commissioners or whether it applies to other county boards such as Retirement Board, Salary Board, Prison Board, and similar public bodies. As a member of the public, I believe clarification would benefit everyone involved: board members, county staff, solicitors, and residents alike. The Pennsylvania Sunshine Act requires agencies to provide a reasonable opportunity for residents and taxpayers to comment at public meetings. The county's current policy appears to go a step further by expressly allowing comment on both agenda and non-agenda matters. That is a positive step toward transparency and public participation. My request today is simple. Please consider formally clarifying whether the existing Commissioner's public comment policy serves as a county-wide policy or umbrella policy for all county boards and authorities, or whether each board should adopt their own written policy for comments by the public. A clear written policy would help ensure consistency from meeting to meeting, eliminate confusion for the public, and provide clear guidance to county boards regarding public participation. Government functions best when the rules are written clearly, consistently applied, and readily understood to everyone who attends public meetings. I appreciate the board's consideration of this request and respectfully ask that this matter be reviewed and discussed publicly at a future meeting. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Mr. Any other public comment?
Good morning. Lisa Von On, excuse me, Pottsville. Yesterday I read a Spotlight PA article saying that Congressman Dan Muser had called a March 12th meeting of Schuylkill and Berks County's Republican commissioners to provide some positive spin for the concentration camps in Tremont and Upper Burn, and it would have been with DHS and ICE. And I want to commend Commissioner Fedora and Boots Hetherington for including Commissioner Hess despite the D after his name.
Doesn't matter to me if he's a commissioner.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree. I'm giving you a compliment.
Okay, I'm just saying that's
Okay.
a lot.
Okay. And I really commend Commissioner Hess for continuing to oppose the Tremont concentration camp. I was also disturbed that there's very little substantial information about the fate of the Tremont camp and the one in Upper Burn. I oppose them on humanitarian grounds. People have died in them because of neglect and cruelty of the operators. Not everybody agrees with me on the premise for these abominations, but I think everyone here does agree that the Tremont Township location is insane and would cause all kinds of upheaval in the township and surrounding areas. So I find it disturbing. Frankly, I find it disturbing that you even listen to Dan Muser, who spends every working breath trying to ingratiate himself with the Trump regime and the agencies it controls. He's tried to spin the Tremont Township concentration camp as a positive development, but he should be supporting his constituents instead of the Trump regime. So I'm asking, please don't be like Congressman Muser. Stand up for your constituents and oppose this monstrosity. Thank you.
Well, Lisa, I did just want to say, it was Congressman Muser that has facilitated all the conversations with DHS. And like I said Monday at the fire company in Palo Alto, if I would if you stick your finger in their chest and say, listen, you stay out of Schuylkill County, we don't want you here, they will not talk to you. That you have to go through their lawyers. They are not talking to the state. The state gets the information from us, right? Anything the state needs. But I'm going to give you, not Commissioner Fedora's thing, just Larry Fedora. Trump's mission with illegal immigration, you should come here to our country legally. As for the Tremont facility, me personally, I don't know if it's coming. And I think it's because we did their due diligence that they didn't do. And to be able to present them with all the information that we flooded DHS with the water capacities, the sewer capacities, the road conditions, the EMS problems, that you can't get more water. You just can't. It's not physically possible. We did their due diligence. So me, as Larry Fedora, not as Commissioner Fedora, I don't believe that facility is going to be open.
Well, I hope you're right. I really hope you're right. But I don't.
Well, what I'm saying, Lisa, is, what I'm saying is, to be able to give DHS that information and to be able to have the conversation with them. Like everybody, this resolution this lady wanted us to sign. We sign a resolution against DHS. They will not communicate with you at all. They go through our lawyers. Because that's what they have done to other communities, is you get no information whatsoever in any way, shape, or form, and no communications.
I have heard of other members of Congress who chased them out, essentially. And I think that, as I've said before, I think that they respect, if they respect anything, they respect people who stand up for them, not who let them roll over them.
Well, no, but letting them roll over would be not bringing all of our concerns to them and presenting everything to them. And that's what we did. We inundated DHS with every concern anybody brought to us about the township, the municipality, the tax rates, the water rates, the sewer, the impact of the local community, that they can't transport trucks through Tremont Borough or Tremont Township, that they can only use 81 for any of their trucking. We inundated them with a ton of money or a ton of information because of having that communication that Congressman Muser provided for us. He is the only person, and dislike him or like him, he is the only person that facilitated direct conversations to DHS. Fetterman's office did, McCormick's office did, only person that did, and the governor's office did, because they won't communicate with the governor's office. The only way we had direct communications with DHS is because of Congressman Muser. He set up all the meetings, he set up everything, and that Spotlight PA story, I saw the Spotlight PA story. I'm sorry, Commissioner Linebaugh should have invited whoever he wanted to the meeting. That's fun. Nobody told us we can't have anybody in, like any of the other commissioners in, or the county administrator, or one of the county solicitors.
Was it with us?
Yeah, Sedco was on the calls with us. The water authority, the Pine Grove School District, I think, was on. Superintendent from Pine Grove was on.
Fire company.
The fire company was on. Like, so nobody, we could invite whoever we want to.
He implied, though, that you guys were basically the ones who knew what they were talking about, the only ones.
Well,
I mean, I thought that was kind of a really inexcusable slur.
Well, I had a lot of information on DHS that I was providing to Boots and Gary. Gary can attest to that, he was included in everything with it. So what another county decided to do, that's on that county, not on Schuylkill.
No, but you know, it did sound, from reading the article, it sounded like he wanted just the Republicans.
Well, I didn't get that impression because I was never told I couldn't invite Commissioner Hessen in any shape or form.
Did you get an invitation, Gary?
I got it from Larry.
That's how Boots got it too.
Well, you know, I'm glad that you included him.
And I also asked that I be included.
You know,
As you know, as you should.
thank you, Lisa.
Mhm.
Any other public comment?
Morning, Judge.
Morning, guys. Morning, everyone. My name is David Platchko from St. Clair. I stand here once again to ask the county commissioners to formally object to the Brad's landfill major permit modification that will allow trucking of leachate as the principal means of leachate management,
Oh, okay.
as the principal means of leachate management at the Brad's landfill. We all know of the problems at the landfill. They're having a hard time treating their leachate and trucking of leachate. I listed all the concerns last week, and you know, they're still very real. So I'm asking
will this county file a formal objection?
Yes.
All right,
Yeah.
with the DEP?
Yes,
Yeah,
Gary's
I
on
got
the.
Solicitor Dottie right after the meeting last week, to formulate
Okay,
a letter for both.
not a letter, this has to be a
No, I
formal
know.
objection that gets,
A
that's,
formal
and
objection
then
about
that will
the-
require, and then the people that I'm associated with the landfill will happily give whatever information we have. We have a lot of data that we can provide. We'll happily provide that, David. And once you formulate that file objection, they'll consider that, and then the DP has to give a written decision. So what we will now have is this county going on record, citing the concerns, and then DEP also going on record. So now we have some baseline information when we go forward with the tonnage increase that they will be asking for probably next year. And that's one thing, Larry, you stated that there's about 20 years of lifespan.
15 to 16.
Well, it's about 20,
Before you can ask-
at the meeting at Senator Argos, it's about 21.75.
21 years total, but they can't apply for Pinto.
Okay, but hear me out. If they get the tonnage increase
Oh, yeah.
from 15,000 to 3,000, then that landfill lifespan comes down to 10 years.
Right.
And then they can apply for an expansion in 5 years.
Right.
So we're looking 5 years from now, not 15 years from now. Should they get the tonnage increase?
Well, I'm just going by what the DEP secretary said at that meeting.
Yeah.
And as of right now.
Well, I'm just going by math.
Yeah, but I'm saying what permits and everything that are in front of DEP right now, they said as of right now, their major modification is for the leachate. We told them we think it should be piped in. And when it's Gary, I asked Gary to follow up to get that written up for us.
Will that formal objection be
Yeah,
available
yeah.
to the public?
That and also the increase from 1,500 to 3,000, that shouldn't
The
happen.
DEP secretary himself said at the meeting with Senator Argel that would exacerbate all the problems. So that should be a no-brainer. There's no way
So-
they should be able to increase tonnage,
Yeah, and
especially since they have a leachate problem.
Yep, and that's where we're putting that in. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Morning.
Lori,
Hi, Rachel Kick, Ordsburg. I just wanted to clarify and be sure, because I know that they came here to speak on data centers, and that's great. I think that there's a lot of misinformation on both sides. Okay, so when you do this roundtable, will you have an independent party present and not just people representing the corporations? Because
that's the Chamber of Commerce has done the pros and cons. They've done this, the state Chamber of Commerce, not our, it's the state. They have done discussions on this, pros and cons, like everything, and we're gonna try to have it, I believe we're looking at maybe Penn State.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're.
Well, I asked, yeah,
If they're coming, there should be an independent party, because, I mean, I know none of us have ever been lied to by a corporation before, so I would just like both sides,
Yeah.
right, not just one.
well, that's what we're doing, but I figured since they were gracious enough to come here today,
Okay,
at short notice, to put a face to the only the project that I believe is farthest along in Schuylkill County is this project. To put a face to it, that it's Amazon, that it's not a mysterious entity,
no, I get
and
that,
to try and get it out.
and they answered everything perfectly, like
But
weirdly perfectly. So, I just want to make sure at the roundtable that there will be an independent party.
well, I just don't see how that can state extension. And state except we reached out to them. and said-
Somebody not associated with data centers.
Like Marcellus, plain clear
Okay,
things, I think, online, from what I understand.
okay,
When the state got involved with Marcellus Shale years ago, Penn State Extension held meetings at several, I was at the Tunkhannock, the whole school up there. And that Penn State would be, engineering would be a third party, not involved, not a homeowner, not a developer. And they ran some very good meetings, talked to people about how to do gas leases, how to protect yourself. The idea is also the chambers bring in, if possible, Penn State, a third party to say, this is what the facts are, they don't have a horse in the race, so that's really.
perfect, that is exactly.
And that's what
I'm looking
we're,
for.
that's what,
Thank
that's
you.
why we reached out to the State Chamber of Commerce, because they put on a roundtable discussions that goes over the pros and cons and everything. It's not one side. They
Okay.
do a very good, and that's what we're trying to set up, because my personal belief is they're no different than any other industrial use. And if they're done the right way, in the right locations, they are a benefit.
I know your personal belief, I hear it every week. But thank you, that's all I wanted to know.
Is there any other public comment before I move on to the meeting? Shirley? No, I'm just checking.
I have a question for Commissioner Haskell. As reported, were you initially not included in users in the congressman's meeting? At first I wasn't, and then I asked why when show basically showed up saying, why wasn't I in the meeting to go? And also, I'm gonna be honest with things, they did take a tour of the facility and I wasn't included and didn't know they were going.
That was fine. Big Gary, you were invited from the very beginning to every meeting, but I made.
With ICE, I was.
Yes, with everything. Well, the congressman, that was an impromptu thing. But we ran up with the congressman just to see it. But you were asked to every meeting you were invited, and I made sure of it. So that, it doesn't matter who, it was up to the county to invite people to it. So.
I
if
wasn't
Commissioner did,
included, I wasn't included when we
In
were
every
on.
conversation with ICE. And
But
even
when
the second.
congressman came in, I was not.
Well, that was on the controversy, that was on the.
Just to be honest, was asked and given an answer. So.
Okay, no public comment, children and youth. Speed reading, Carl, speed reading.
Morning, Commissioners. I do want to address our contracts for this upcoming 26-27 fiscal year. I did observe with our contracts manager this morning that the state has not yet approved a single placement provider budget packet that has been submitted with the deadlines in March, April this year. I would suggest that the federal audit of child welfare funding may be a big factor there. And so just want to give advance notice that as we get those approved amounts, we will be processing contracts that may end up being backdated to July 1st of 2026. But for today, we have 5 items. First, we're requesting approval of an addendum to the current agreement with Pathways Adolescent Center, Oil City, Pennsylvania. That would add an additional complex cases programming with per diem rate $1,495. Second is an addendum to the current agreement, Children's Choice Incorporated, Belmar, New Jersey, extending its term period to include fiscal year 26-27 current rates and terms with an end date of June 30th, 2027. We are looking for approval of a new agreement with KL Davis Polygraphs LLC, New Columbia, Pennsylvania, for polygraph services with rates as follows. The polygraph exams at $360 per exam. A no-show for an appointment would be at $150 as a flat fee, and expert witness testimony is at $850 per day. The term of this agreement would be June 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. Finally, we have 2 agreements with term period July 1st, 2026 to June 30th, 2027. Both are for solicitors. Agreement with attorney Karen Rissmiller, Pottsville, for her services with a monthly retainer at $2,989.44. And extraordinary expenses at an hourly rate of $100. Next is the same agreement with attorney Mary Kathleen O'Connor, the same rate and retainer.
On alcohol?
Good morning. John Reed, Drug and Alcohol. Just have 2 items. First is approval of a contract with Schuylkill Community Action for the period of June 1st, 2026 to August 31st of 2026. Schuylkill Community Action will be partnering with the Schuylkill County Drug and Alcohol Prevention Team to facilitate the Summer Blast Program with a contract cap of $50,081. Second item is an approval of an addendum to Sage Action Consulting to update the scope of services to be provided in fiscal year 26-27. An updated Appendix B and Appendix E will be attached to reflect the changes in services.
Thank you.
John, I heard that summer blast last year was very successful. Didn't you add a couple more schools onto this?
Correct. Last year we had 4 sites since it started. This year we added 2 additional sites, 1 in Haven and 1 in Minersville.
That's great. Good job.
Yep. Thank you.
Very good program.
Okay.
Cheryl.
Good morning, Commissioners. Cheryl Foots on behalf of grant writers. Approval of a contract in the amount of $49,999 to Bill Davis Cement Contractors on behalf of Monmouth Township for a demolition project. That project is at 121 Lower Street. Approval of a contract in the amount of $13,700 to Affordable Construction and Demo LLC for a demo project in Riley Township. That is at 12 Sport Hill Street. Approval to advertise for a demolition project in St. Clair. That one is at 126 Barn Street. Approval to enter into a cooperation agreement with the Borough of St. Clair for a demo project at 126 Barn Street, St. Clair. Approval of a contract with Schuylkill Community Action for CDBG years 2025, 2026, and 2027 for the housing rehab program. Thank you.
Human services, one line, that's my favorite.
Morning.
My favorite, one line.
Sharon Lumber, Human Services. I have a recommendation that the Board of Commissioners approves a program-funded agreement with Schuylkill Community Action Pottsville for outreach case management services for the period July 1, 2026 through June 30th, 2027, with a contract half of $38,432.
Thank you. Now you have to speed.
I know, I'll try and consolidate.
Yeah, more on the agenda than Carl.
Hi, good morning, Commissioners. Approval of an addendum for fiscal year 25-26 with Mid-Penn Legal of Harrisburg, contract number 2026-115 for Ombudsman Services. Department of Aging allows us to give a 4.5% increase to the provider. The revised contract cap would be $128,535. Approval of an addendum to fiscal year 25-26 for Met's Culinary Management of Dallas for congregate and in-home meals contract 2023-203 to allow for a 4.5% increase. That will change the rate from $4.88 to $5.10 effective as of July 1st. The cap will remain at $746,640. I'll have contract addendums for 25-26 with Caregivers America of Clark Summit, PA. Compass Rose Care Limited of Pottsville, PA, WA2 doing business as Family Home Medical Support Services of Mount Carmel, PA, and Maximum Care of Whitehall, PA, all for personal care services with rate increases of 4.5%. Their rates will change from $24.41 to $25.51 an hour. Their contracts will all remain the same as the current fiscal year. Contract approval for Mid-Penn Legal for 26-27 to extend their contract. The contract cap will be $128,525. Approval to extend the contract for another fiscal year 26-27 with Met's Culinary Management of Dallas for congregate and in-home meals. The rate's $5.10 and the performance bond will follow. Diacon Child's Family and Community Ministries of Middleton, PA for 26-27 to addend to extend their contract. Senior Community Centers will be for $524,861. PA Medi, $104,257. Health and Wellness, $38,664. Health and Wellness, evidence-based programming, $33,461. Volunteer serving seniors, $90,662. And in-home meals, $369,395 for an overall cap of $1,161,300. Approval of an addendum to extend STS of St. Clair, PA for fiscal year 26-27 for the same rates that we currently have that were adopted as of April 1st. The contract cap will remain the same at $86,000, $649.50. Approval to extend the contract for another fiscal year with Service Access Management for our caregiver processing checks. The contract cap will remain the same at $4,800, and the check processing is $5. Approval of addendum for fiscal year 26-27 for Caregivers America of Clark Summit, PA, Compass Rose Care, Pottsville, WA2 Inc. doing business as Family Home Medical Support Services of Mount Carmel, and Maximum Care of Whitehall, PA, their contract rates will be $25.51, and their caps will also remain the same. Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Real estate.
Good morning. On behalf of Solid Waste and Recycling, requesting approval of the county's annual fall cleanup. The cleanup will take place amongst 15 sites: Pottsville, Minersville, CES Landfill, Gerardville, North Manheim Township, Schuylkill Haven, Wayne Township, Porter Township, Pine Grove Township, Ringtown Borough, New Ringgold Borough, Monterey City Borough, Branch Township, East Union Township, and Tremont Borough. This year's fall cleanup accepted item list will include tires, residential appliances, bulky items, and is open to all residents of Schuylkill County. It should also be noted that there will not be any electronics accepted this year. The fall cleanup will start on September the 8th, 2026, and conclude on September 19th, 2026. The Department of Environmental Protection will reimburse the county up to 50% of the cost of this event through the Act 190 grant. Advertisements for the event, as well as the Schuylkill County website, will have exact locations provided for each site. Next item is approval to advertise for bids for the waste tire collection and recycling. Bids will be accepted in the Controller's office until 3 p.m. July 13th, 2026, with bid opening in the Commissioner's Boardroom on Wednesday, July 15th, 2026 at 9 a.m., with a tentative bid award at the Board of Commissioners meeting on July 22nd. Approval to advertise for bids for the bulky item collection will be accepted in the Controller's office until 3 p.m. July 13th, 2026, with bid opening in the Commissioner's Boardroom on Wednesday, July 15th at 9 a.m. with a tentative bid award at the Commissioners meeting on July 22nd, 2026. And then in liquid fuels, I'm requesting an approval of change order number 1 in the amount of $40,875 with Multiscape for additional concrete needed for the replacement of County Bridge 24, Line Street over Good Spring Creek. The contract total is $1,463,577.45, and the project has been completed, so we're looking to close that out, and I'm requesting a motion to take.
I'll make a motion that we approve the request for the additional money for Bridge 24.
Second. The question?
Commissioner Fedora?
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington?
Yes.
Commissioner Hess?
Yes.
And for planning and zoning, I'll let Susan read all those items in case anyone has any questions.
I don't know. Planning and zoning and Deanna are tied. I think Deanna had. I think Deanna had.
Good morning, Commissioner. Susan Smith for Planning. The first is a motion to request approval of a land development improvement agreement to be substantially in the form of the county standard development agreement between the county and the applicant for the preliminary final land development plan for Ronald K. and Lucinda Z. Martin Poultry Operation, which is dated May 14th, last revised April 30th, and which is located in Barry Township, and to authorize execution of the agreement by the Board of Commissioners. The Planning Commission conditionally approved this at their May 13th meeting. The next was also conditionally approved by the Planning Commission at their May 13th meeting. This is for a land development improvement agreement and a stormwater maintenance agreement to be substantially in the form of the county standard documents between the applicant and the county and the applicant for the Kurtz Solar Project Final Land Development Plan, which is dated August 20th, 25 and revised January 26th, 26, and which is located in Washington Township, and to authorize execution of the agreement by the Board of Commissioners. The next motion is to request a reappointment of the following individuals as Schuylkill County's voting members. The following are county and at-large voting representatives and alternates to the NEPA NPO Technical Planning Committee for a term commencing July 1, 2026 and ending on June 30, 2028. As a county representative, me, Susan Smith, Schuylkill County Planning and GIS Director. As the alternate, Lisa Mayhall, County Real Estate Director. The at-large representative, John Malinchak, who's the County Planning Commission Chair, and the at-large representative alternate, Chris Spence, in his capacity as the Chamber of Commerce Infrastructure Committee Chair. A motion is requested to approve a contract with WSP USA Inc. of Philadelphia to provide professional services related to the Anthracite Connector Trail Peer Study. The county had been awarded a grant from DCNR to conduct this peer study in relation to the proposed Anthracite Connector Trail. The Anthracite Connector Trail is part of the 9/11 National Memorial Trail and would connect Pottsville to Jim Thorpe in Carbon County. The purpose of the peer study is to identify a practical, sustainable governance, ownership, and maintenance structure for the Anthracite Connector Trail. A motion is requested to approve a contract with Snow Collins Landscape Architecture of Norristown to provide professional services to lead the development of the Sweetheart Lake and Frog Hollow Master Site Plan. The next motion is also for the same contractor, but this time for the development of the County Park Recreation and Open Space Plan. Both of these projects are being funded in part through a grant award from DCNR. The Frog Hollow and Sweetheart Lake study was reviewed. The study committee reviewed and evaluated all the submitted proposals and conducted interviews and shortlisted qualified firms. And based on that process, the committee recommended Snow Collins. Similarly, the study committee for the open space park and greenway plan also reviewed and evaluated all submitted proposals and conducted interviews with a short list. And based on that process, they also recommended Snow Collins for that project. Thank you.
That's clean.
Good morning, Commissioners. David Rice from the Solicitor's Office on behalf of the Tax Claim Office, requesting approval of the following private sale bid pursuant to 72 pertinent statutes, section 5860.613. And that private sale is delineated within the agenda with an address of 31 Cold Street in Middleport. On behalf of the Solicitor's Office, we are requesting on behalf of the Tax Claim Bureau approval to authorize the county solicitor's office to enter into a joint stipulated order of court pursuant to 72 pertinent statute section 5551, which authorizes the compromise of delinquent taxes, penalties, and interest regarding the properties listed in Exhibit A. The respective school districts and municipal districts have all been notified and have consented to the compromise of those delinquent taxes on these parcels. And Commissioners, I note that petitions to compromise the delinquent real estate taxes, penalties, interest, and costs has been filed in the Court of Common Pleas here, Schuylkill County, on behalf of the Borough of Frackville by Attorney Mark Samancic and Riley Township. Those two properties have been filed an objection by, or a petition rather, by Attorney Tom Pellish, with hearing dates of June 26th and June 29th of 2026. Therefore, I am asking immediate approval of our motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second. More questions?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Thank you, Commissioners.
Further off.
The treasury reporting on a monthly cash statement total for the end of May is $108,215,439.11.
Thank you. Finance officer.
Good morning, Commissioners. We have two items for informational purposes only. County Administration adjustment, budget adjustment of $3,500, mental health, a budget adjustment of $85,000. And then we ask for two items for immediate approval. These are additional monies received from state grants in the amount of $1,500,000 and one in the amount of $156,000. We ask immediate approval to vote.
Then make a motion that we approve 2026-12 and 2026-13.
Second. On the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Administration, you have a lot too.
Okay, on behalf of the Schuylkill Workforce Development Board, I recommend Workforce Development Board Finance and Executive Committee, the Workforce Development Board accepted the projected budget for the program year July 1st, 2026 to 30th, 2027. The 1.9% decrease from the program year budget of 2025. Approval is requested to accept the annual budget for the Luzerne County Workforce Development Board. On behalf of the Schuylkill County Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board, approval of the following funding recommendations from the 2026 Schuylkill County Affordable Housing Trust Fund, as well as the authorization to execute agreement between the County of Schuylkill and the service providers listed below upon grant approval. The board recommends funding for the following 7 projects along with an allocation to the reserve account. Schuylkill Hope Center for the Victims of Domestic Violence, the project-based offer total housing program for victims of the domestic violence project, $11,000. Schuylkill County Housing Authority, modernization of work at Shenandoah Family Development Center, $44,000. Service to All for Homeless Prevention Project, $19,000. Community Act for Schuylkill County Housing Repair Program for senior citizens and individuals with disabilities, $59,000. Cook Community Action for School County Brick House Program, 49,000. Marking Incorporated for the Shenandoah Veterans Common Project, $29,000. Sexual Assault Resource and Counseling Center, start healing at home permanent supported housing for sexual assault survivors, 24,000. And Act 137 reserve account, $8,432. Total allocation this year was $243,432. And again, on behalf of the board, on behalf of the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board, Case Walker, Director of the Planning for the School Community Action, the Administrative Agents with the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board, propose that Kent Hubner, Ann Hooper Smith, Karen Kenderdine, and Kay Williams be approved to serve a 2-year term on the Affordable Housing Trust Fund Board, determined July 1st, 2026, to June 30th, 2028. And lastly, approval of the 2025 Affordable Housing Trust Fund Annual Report.
Good morning, Commissioners. Human Resources is asking the Department of Human Services an appointment for Mary Pastora, a clerk type 2, at a salary of $13.9298, effective 6/29/26. Tax Assessment Department is requesting a motion for the promotion of Carol Federoff as the administrative assessor at a rate of $18, effective 6/22/26.
Then the motion on the tax system, motion,
So moved, Chairman. Second.
question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
In court administration, we have a transfer of Jean M. Davis to judicial secretary, effective 7/6/26. All appointments are pending drug test and physical, and all actions involving salary for the positions being created are in the salary board approval.
Any business? Let's go there.
One quick comment, Teresa, Mr. Kyle, Mr. Gary Bender. I remember in the 70s, having a girlfriend in Georgia and driving over to Aristus down in the Big Mine Run, back with Georgia to pick her up. The joke was each night, would be a new couch there, or a pair of tires, or another sofa, or another refrigerator. That's all been cleaned up. That's 50 years ago. That stretch of highway from Australia down to the back of Georgia was just a garden still. I was on last week. It's just I had dumb luck, but it's been cleaned up, and it just feels so good to not see that TVs and tires and the favorite place that no one moves that road. No favorite place to stop and throw things off on a lot of churches. So I commend Mr. Bender and Lisa and Kyle for the job they're doing on the cleanups. It's a big help. Motion adjourned.
Salary board, before the executive sessions,
Denver Hill,
public comment for salary board.
All right, good morning again, gentlemen. Chris Molesky, Norwegian Township. Please refrain from any comments until after my 3-minute period is expired. I would like to address again, I'm going to reinforce what I stated earlier. What appears to be an inconsistency in public comment procedures among county boards and meetings. At commissioners' meetings, members of the public are permitted to speak on agenda items and non-agenda items. At salary board meetings, members of the public have likewise been permitted to address matters beyond the specific agenda. However, during a recent retirement board meeting, which was last week, the public was informed, which was me, that comments must be limited only to agenda-related matters, and that the restriction was the law. As a citizen, I find that very confusing. These boards often meet, one after another, in the same room, with many of the same elected officials sitting in multiple boards. Yet the rules for public participation appear to change depending on which board is meeting. If the county's public comment policy appears only to commissioners' meetings, then where are the written public comment policies for the retirement board, salary board, and county boards and authorities? If there are separate policies, they should be made readily available to the public so that everybody understands the rules before speaking. If there are no separate policies, then I respectfully question why different standards are being applied from one board meeting to the next. Title 65 Pennsylvania Consolidated Statute Section 710.1 subsection A requires an opportunity for the public comment before official action is taken. While boards may adopt a reasonable rule for public participation, those rules should be applied and easily accessible to the public. I am not a legal scholar, however, I believe an educated citizen can read the law, review public policies, and reasonably expect consistency from one public meeting to another. Therefore, I respectfully ask that the commissioners clarify. First, what written policy governs the retirement board? Second, what written policy governs the salary board? And third, why members of the public are allowed to address non-agenda item matters before some county boards, but not others? Consistency, transparency, and public trust all benefit when the rules are clear and applied equally. Thank you for your time, guys. One quick question, if I could just jump it in. You guys did make a quick motion, I shouldn't say a quick motion, but you did motion in regards to the approval of the supplemental budget for Schuylkill County Economic Development. In regards to that motion, there wasn't an opportunity for a discussion or any questions from the public. So my only question that I would have, if it did fall under that $1.5 million grant is what and where is it coming from?
That came from DEC into redevelopment.
Was this the 1.5 that certain amount was going to the hotel, the 7.5 without any discussion? So that money now is being reallocated to the supplemental budget then for the economic development, correct? Thank you for clarification. Thanks.
Any other public comment, salary board?
Jeff Dunkel, Palo Alto, can you, after I'll say the first question, follow up on the prothonotary issue with the online access and certain people having access? Second of all, the 1.5 million, since I've been following that for many weeks now, could you expand on if it's going to SEDCO, how do they plan on using it? If it's like, what's the game plan for that 1.5 million? Can we answer either of those?
Well, I'll wait 2 or 3 minutes.
Okay, I'll stand here for another 2.5.
I'm gonna wait for their home. It's not going to.
Okay, where's it going?
It stays in our redevelopment fund.
And is it still for the same outline of what it was supposed to be for blight and?
Yes,
And
whatever was put in for blight demolition and,
But what was it? Acquisition of
Underutilized.
it was what demolition of blighted or underutilized property. Acquisition, demolition.
And has any of that been awarded yet, or is there going to be an application process? I know Cove Lennox was mentioned in the hotel. Are either of those going through, and is there an application process?
Where any action being taken at this time.
Okay, no application process either?
Paul is reviewing what they do with the city, the application process for that. And we're gonna get that application process.
Okay, and the Prothonotari's office?
The voluntary, I'll follow up. I followed up with it right after that meeting, and I saw some email exchanges with Bridget and Voluntari's office and can't remember her name. No, the woman that brought the question up originally at the meeting. They've been in communications, so I assume Bridget was handling it.
Oh, you're talking Dr. Mullins?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, but that's a whole different,
Well, that's the same thing she's talking about with the Voluntari's office.
she was talking about the civil clerk, or the civil dockets. I'm talking about title searches and access and being able to see what you're printing before you're printing.
The voluntary.
Right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that's all the same thing now.
Okay,
We brought it
same,
up.
same program that they're
As
using.
far as I know, yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment, salary board? One resource office.
Okay, we are requesting 2 motions this morning for the tax assessment office. One to create a position as an interim clerk effective 2, effective 6/17/26. The second motion is to set the salary for Carol Federoff, administrator or assessor, at $18 per hour, effective 6/22/26. Human Services to set the salary for Mary Pastora, clerk titles 2, at a salary of $13.92.9298, effective 6/29/26. And in court administration, to set the salary for Jean M. Davis, judicial secretary, at 29.8387, effective 7/6/26.
Do I have a motion for the committee and set salary for tax assessment?
So moved, sir.
Second, the question?
Commissioner Fedora,
Yes.
Commissioner Heatherington,
Yes.
Commissioner Hess.
Yes.
Controller Yekenship.
Yes.
I'll motion to adjourn.
So moved, Madam.
Would you speak out?